which threatens checkmate on f2, scholar's mate checkmate, which white has to defend against, and then you can take back the knight on c6, or you could just play b7, pawn on b7 takes the knight on c6 immediately. And I think that's considered to be okay for black as well. Here he goes, queen to f6.
There we go, the queen coming out to f6 now. Short didn't recapture that knight immediately. But instead he's threatening checkmate on f2.
Yes, and checkmate didn't arrive that early. Kathy, the Scotch opening a surprise?
Yes, well, it's a slightly off-the-beaten-track opening, and I think it did disconcert Nigel. But I think, you know, that he seemed to have responded quite well, you know, just calmly playing to threaten checkmate and, you know, seeming to react quite well.
Daniel, what should we look at now?
Right, well, this is the position after Short's 14th move. Well, I think the opening did actually unsettle Nigel quite a bit. And in fact, by this stage, Kasparov already had an opening advantage. If we look here, the queens have been exchanged. Kasparov played his bishop back there. It was attacked by the rook. Now, these bishops are the key to Kasparov's opening advantage. He has two bishops compared to Short's bishop and a knight here. And the two bishops are lethal on an open board. They complement each other very well. As well as that, Kasparov has this excellent kingside pawn structure, which he used to great effect later on.
And this was on move 15?
Yeah, that's right.
OK, well, the game continued with Kasparov trying to build up pressure to force a breakthrough. We'll rejoin now with Kasparov to make his 31st move with Raymond Keane and Daniel commentating.
Short is a pawn up here, but I think Kasparov will be looking to blow open the position by moving this pawn one square up here. Now,
Which is very dangerous for black.
if Kasparov captures that pawn...
No, Short captures the pawn.
excuse me, if Short, playing black, has captured the pawn...
He's played it,
Kasparov's done it,
We'll
right.
see it on the board now. He must take. I don't see it, unless he could move the rook.
I think if Short captures the pawn here, Kasparov will recapture with his bishop, and that will be extremely nasty. Once White's bishop comes to this square, it'll have this terrible crossfire of pieces.
Maybe
Across
Short
his
has to
king.
move his rook to c6 immediately, just to get out of the line of fire.
Could well be. I mean, that looks really nasty. And, oh, that's very interesting. He's played bishop c6.
Very sneaky. Not moving the rook at all, or capturing the pawn.
So, if Kasparov captures the rook, then Short can capture Kasparov's rook here. That could be his saving move.
How does Kasparov look? Is he looking worried? Or is he looking serene and calm and...
I wouldn't quite say that. Now, has Kasparov missed it? He's got roughly 10 minutes left to play 9 moves, and he's glancing at the clock there. Did he miss that one? Short played that move very quickly. With an air of decisiveness, which has really been lacking in his play so far. Now, has he caught out Kasparov here? Short has been under pressure for a great deal of this session so far. Kasparov shaking his head. It looks like he missed it.
Well, this is the most difficult part of the game for Short, actually.
Has Nigel found a way out?
But it's these opportunities, Daniel, that Short's missing. I mean, it's in previous games, Short's been given opportunities like this, like bishop c6, but he's missed them continually. So if he has got an opportunity here, let's hope he doesn't mess it up or miss it.
So perhaps an indication that Nigel is feeling a little bit more confident today is the fact that he's used up much less time than before. Short has used 1 hour 34. He has roughly 25 minutes left to make 9 moves, so no time pressure there at all. Whereas Kasparov has just, well, looking at the clock there, I think he has about 8 minutes left, 7 or 8 minutes left, and he's shaking, Kasparov's shaking his head. Kasparov just shook his head there.
You know, I have the feeling that Kasparov's rather exhausted after that desperate battle in game 10, the one that he should have lost. He's looking, rubbing his eyes. I really think he's tired.
I'm sure he's missed this move of Short's. That was rather unexpected. Kasparov played his pawn forward very quickly, as though he thought the game might be over.
Well, I didn't expect it. You hadn't seen it either, had you?
I hadn't seen it, I must admit. So,
We're fallible, yes.
some are more fallible than others.
He really is shaking his head,
Kasparov's
yes.
shaking his head there. Muttering to himself. He must have missed it. So what can he do?
It must be said that even if Kasparov's missed it, the chance of him losing is pretty remote, because he still has a much better pawn structure and the two bishops, and even just a liquidation would probably leave Kasparov with no problems whatsoever. He's retreated his rook.
Retreats his rook to d2.
And Short's taken the
Short's
pawn.
captured instantly.
So Short's now temporarily 2 pawns up.
But his pawn's not very good. If we look at Short's pawns, they're scattered all over the place. None of them are connected at all. Look at those. None of them are connected. Whereas, well, Kasparov, he only has 4 pawns left. But these two in particular on the king side might win the game for him.
He's moved king
Kasparov has
f4.
moved instantly. So that's supporting his pawn in the middle of the board. That can't be taken now by the rook because the king will capture it. And now he's preparing to lunge in with his bishop and take that pawn. That still looks very dangerous for
Can
Short.
Nigel Short play rook takes e5? Is that possible, or is it a stupid move?
Right, so Ray's suggesting rook takes pawn. Now if the king takes the rook, then Short will bring his knight back, checking the king. So just imagine the king on that square. Then the knight comes back, checking the king and attacking the rook at the same time. Is that possible? Oh dear, it's very nasty with his, with these bishops floating around. Well, after rook takes pawn, surely there's bishop to d4.
Then he plays rook d5.
Attacking the rook and the knight. Then rook d5.
Pins the bishop.
Then rook d5.
And don't forget, Short would be 3 pawns up in that position. 3 lousy pawns, actually. 3 wrecked pawns, but 3 pawns is 3 pawns.
So Short fighting very well here.
And he's played knight c4.
He's played knight c4.
It's the same idea, attacking the rook and the e-pawn. It's a similar concept.
Right, so the knight here attacking both the pawn and the rook. Kasparov, well, he must have seen that. What's he got in reply?
Short, rook e2 to defend the pawn. And now if he wants, he can play his knight back to d6 to defend the pawn because of the pin and the e-file. Knight to d6 should hold the
right, that's a very interesting move. So knight coming back to d6. Now it looks as though the pawn can capture it. But then rook will come down and take the rook there. So that's an interesting idea, moving the knight back. Is that really possible?
Short's got plenty of time for once, and Kasparov is down to 4 minutes left.
But Short giving him a taste of his own medicine, because Nigel he's now started to play his moves very quickly, trying to rush Kasparov, try and force him into making a blunder.
Well, here I think Short should actually slow down because he's got. I think he's